Are you thinking about buying a house that's for sale by owner? Private sales can seem like a great deal, but did you know that they often come with a lot of hidden challenges? From navigating the direct negotiations to ensuring that the paperwork is all airtight, and this type of purchase requires lots of careful planning. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through everything that you need to know about buying a for sale by owner, including the potential risks and how to avoid some of these costly mistakes. So stick around because this advice could save you thousands of dollars. So why are for sale by owners different? Well, the appeal of for sale by owner and private sale properties are you get the direct negotiations and access to the seller and the buyer. They can communicate. There's no middleman real estate agent negotiating between the two parties, which might speed up the potential sale process. There's also the potential savings, as sellers may competitively price their home to avoid commissions for the real estate agents. Also, some people like the personal aspect of communicating directly with the seller to understand more clearly why the seller is selling and having more of that information factor from the owner. However, the challenge of these for sale by owner and private sale properties is that there is a lack of representation. And as you know, buying a real estate property is most people's largest financial purchase that they ever make in their lives. So making sure that you do it correctly and making sure that you're protected, not overpaying, and not buying an asset that's going to cause issues down the road. You want to make sure that you're protected and you make the right choice of buying that property. Your real estate agent's fiduciary duty is to represent your best interests as a buyer. And same thing with the seller. The real estate agent's job is to help on a seller's side, obviously sell a house and represent it in its best light, do the most marketing to get you the highest price point possible. And as for the buyer, it's to represent the buyer to make sure that they are getting the ideal property that they want without any concerns, issues, and they aren't overpaying for the property and they know the true value of that property. And at the end of the day, to make sure that the whole sale goes smoothly and they're not getting screwed over essentially at the end of the day. Another challenge for sellers specifically for these private homes is it reduces the emotional factor that goes along with selling your house, as oftentimes there's lots of memories and emotion tied to that property and its value, and thinking that it's worth more because all these added features, but not fully knowing all of the other comparable sales and the true market value of that home. So when a real estate agent comes and helps with that seller to get their property sold, they don't look at the emotional aspect as much. It's more with the true value of the home and ultimately helping the seller get the most for their property in the market conditions that they're selling in. And this leads me to number 3, is just the pricing concerns. As oftentimes, like I said, the private sellers don't always know exactly where their home is valued in the current market conditions, as there's lots of factors that come into play and the dynamics of the market are always changing. So by just seeing some other properties that are for sale doesn't necessarily reflect what the true value and the sold prices of some of those properties are, and where the market is projected to go in the future and where has it been in the past, and how to properly position your house to get the most price for your home. So if you're looking to buy a property for sale by owner as a buyer, step number 1 would be to hire a real estate agent. And why I advocate for that is because you want to make sure that you're protected. Like I said before, this is your number 1 financial purchase that you're most likely going to make, or it's going to be in those higher decisions and investments that you make in the future. And so you want to make sure that the asset and the property that you're purchasing is a good investment for you for the long term, and that it's going to be a place that you're going to see yourself living in the long term, 3 to 5 years plus, and that there's no issues with the property that you're going to have to continue to dump a lot more money into it, and you're buying it at the market value. So you want to make sure that your real estate agent helps you with this whole process and guides you through it so you know that you're making the right decision. Even if the seller doesn't have a real estate agent of their own representing them, I still think it's critical that the buyer has their own real estate agent representing them to help them navigate the buying process. One of the critical benefits that I believe a real estate agent can provide you is understanding the true market value of a home, where sometimes a private seller might list their property for $400,000, but is it truly worth that $400,000, or is it worth $450,000, or is it worth $380,000? The way for you to know is to, again, hire a real estate agent to provide you with that market analysis of that specific home so you know its true value before you go ahead and make that purchase. It will also help bring some understanding to the seller. If they're very stern on that price, the real estate agent is there to help you negotiate on the price and make sure that you're buying it for its true value. The real estate agent is also capable of doing all of the inspections and making sure that all the permits are closed off and making sure that the survey and the property lines are all in the right order and making sure that all the past repairs were done correctly and that there's no underlying issues with the home that are often missed with the buyers that don't work with the real estate agent. So this truly protects you from post-sale and makes sure that you're not overpaying for your home. So let's say you hired a real estate agent, you found a house, you come to terms with a true price, you've negotiated the price with the seller. Now it's time to go through all the necessary paperwork. And this paperwork can be quite lengthy, so doing it on your own, again, is a risk that you have to make the decision if you're willing to take on. There's lots of hidden terms and conditions and pricing strategies that you can have in those offer to purchases on properties. So after you've come to agreement with the price with the seller, the next step is to do all the paperwork with your residential contract to purchase and sale, your ancillary services document, making sure that there's any schedules or other underlying conditions that you need to inspect in the house, and making sure that it's all reviewed properly with your lawyer. So in summary, some tips on making sure that your private sale goes smoothly is to, one, hire a real estate agent to help you throughout the process and going to protect your best interests so you don't overpay for a home and buy a property that has a lot of underlying issues. Do your homework, make sure you know where the market trends are. Is the property in a good area? Is it priced correctly? What sort of benefits are in the area and why that home specifically? Stay objective. Don't get too many emotions tied into it. Have your real estate agent help negotiate for you so you don't overpay for the property and you can negotiate with some solid data and some logic and reason to the seller to make sure that you get the best deal for your property. And number 4 is to budget for all the closing costs and inspections, making sure that you do all your due diligence, you're prepared for the closing, you have all the paperwork done correctly with your lawyer and your real estate agent to making sure that you're closing on the correct date with all the terms that are protecting you, as well as making sure that the property is free and clear of all liens and you take possession on your property on that possession date without any hassles. Buying a for sale by owner home can be a really rewarding experience, but it's not without its challenges. So by working with the knowledgeable real estate agent, doing your homework and approaching the process with caution, you can navigate the complexities and secure a great deal. So if you're thinking about buying a for sale by owner home or have any questions about the process whatsoever, I'm here to help however I can. Feel free to reach out to me. All my contact details are below, as well as all my links to schedule a call if you have any questions about the process or need any help buying or selling your house privately.